Hi everyone, this is Laura Leon of Sovereign Key, and a little update of something really interesting that happened while I was in the hospital. So when I was in the hospital and I was getting all the tests prior to the surgery, and this is really important, my anesthetist, after all the tests were done, came to me and he was very surprised and he was upset. And he showed me the documents that he was referring to. Now, this goes into what I had said in the last video. He showed me a classification on my records, my medical records in the hospital, which flabbergasted him, and he'd never seen this before. He literally never saw this. The classification on my paperwork was human. Now, in the 30 years he's been working as an anesthetist, he's never seen anything like this before. The classification human has to do with and if you're not injected and owned, because once you receive it, you are now the property, the intellectual property of the creators and the government, because they're in this together. Therefore, those who haven't received it are still the divine template human. They're not the new sin bio artificial intelligence chimera hybrid that is being created. So when he showed it to me, he was baffled. He didn't understand it. He'd never seen any classification like that in his life. He never even saw a classification area, period. Now, the classification human is that in their data banks already, they are differentiating between who's human and who isn't. The laws are applied to the divine, so they have to abide by the sovereign laws. If you're human, divine. If you're not, then they don't need to follow them, and that's when they will go full force. We're well on our way in this, and what they're planning next is really going to be shocking, because they are planning another real virus that's essentially dormant in those that have received the injection. What I haven't revealed until now is that what I've been shown was that what is inside their bodies, dormant, will have a chemical reaction to something that is specific that they're planning to unleash. This is going to be radiation. So radiation is going to bond with what they've put in the people that have received these injections. And once that happens, it'll activate this new strain, which they have created on purpose. This is a real, very serious virus. And it is going to be very, very difficult to accept this message, because what they're creating is a very lethal and deleting their God codes. This technology is a technology that deletes God codes, and this is why we're seeing evidence of people lacking empathy. It's slowly working. It's slowly making the changes, and with every more injections that happen, this metamorphosis takes place. When they unleash this radiation, that is going to be the concern. That is going to be the major worry, because that's when this stuff is going to activate and it's going to be let out. And there will be a real serious at that point. More than anything, they're setting up the climate for the next phase, which has to do with them not wanting any divine humans, because if there are divine humans, they have to abide by the law, the divine laws. So they're going to orchestrate things to force people to receive, the people that are left that haven't, they're going to try and do everything they can to force that, including food shortages, which they've already started anyway. And, you know, more scenarios that are going to drive people to their camps, because at the beginning, they're going to do it in a way that people will be desperate for help, and they're going to be feigning that they'll help, but really this is all a setup. Everybody has to know this and stay away from these places at all cost. Hold on to your divine prime template, because that is pure divinity. And it's so divine that they have a hard time hacking into the genes actually to do what they need to do. So, you know, we're at a really trepidatious point, especially because they've relaxed all of their totalitarian and insane laws to give people the illusion that everything's going back to normal, and so that people disarm themselves. And when you're disarmed, you're not going to be ready for what's coming next. And that's the whole point of what they're doing and how they're doing it. So we need to be wise. We have a narrow window before they want to go into their next phase and create this this new, real serious threat that, from what I saw when I was shown this when I was little, it was pretty horrific. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say this, but what I saw, what this new strain created in people, was terrifying. So don't think for 2 seconds that what we're seeing right now is because things are relaxing. They have no plan of relaxing their plans and their agenda. They have absolutely zero. This is strategic. All of this is strategic. The fact that that happened to me in the hospital, and that I saw it because he showed me the paperwork, and there it was, clear as day, the classification, human. Never in my life have I either seen that. So yeah, it's time to keep as sharp as possible, because that wasn't a good sign when I saw that. But they're already classifying people. And that is a very major concern. So we have a narrow window to get things organized before they really go into full force of their next plan, because they're going to go hardcore once they really start. I mean, what we've seen in the past 2 years was psychological terraforming, essentially, to get everybody acclimated to trauma and trauma bonding. So, and they know the science of trauma bonding and how well it works. So yeah, I felt that I had to do this video. It's a short one, but given what happened at the hospital, I think this is a massive, massive information, especially that they're already classifying people. I've never seen that before, and neither did he, and neither did my surgeon. This is all new to them. And they don't even understand what's going on. So they're not given information. We are in, we're going to be going into more information about the divine aspect of this all. So this means that everybody has to be on alert. I would really recommend getting whatever is needed for your own personal survival when it starts going crazy. And I'm not saying that part's going to happen right away. They're going to create a climate where they want people to volunteer going to these places, volunteer going to their FEMA camps, in which case they will force everyone to have the thing. So yeah, I don't want anyone to be seduced by this strategic operation that they have going right now, where everything is just calmed down and under the illusion that things are going back to normal. Don't think for 2 seconds that they've stopped anything. They haven't. This is literally to create and disarm people so that their next plan, that shock, will paralyze a lot of the population, because everybody was really starting to ramp up. So this is all strategy. It's all psychological, and it's not good news. And I know that the part of the divine that I'm talking about is that what we are as divine beings is in a perfection that they have a really hard time hacking into this. They have a really hard time hacking into our DNA. Our DNA is so divine. There's so much in our divine code that it requires massive amount on their behalf to gene edit, gene delete, and to create basically the body as a temporary holding position for something that is far more dangerous inside the technology that they've been using in these concoctions. So it is there's a storm brewing, folks, and it's been brewing, and it's not anywhere near over. In fact, I could actually say that according to their plans, they're really going to step it up and create a far more dangerous environment for everyone to attempt to corral the remaining primes and reals that haven't received this. I mean, their plan is to override all sovereign laws, and they can do that if you're no longer a divine human. They can absolutely, and that's bingo, their entire plan, because then they can do anything they want. And when I tell you that they're planning harvesting centers, those centers are already there. And I know it's hard to take, but yeah. Keep your divine connection to the Father and the Mother. Cling to the Father and the Mother. And resist all of their attempts, no matter how hard. So the more that you're ready, the better, if possible. The more that you're able to withstand and wait and hold out, the better. All right, so this is update number 2. I will do as much as what I can do. I am still recovering, so it is going to be a bit longer. And Yeah, so until this is all done, I can't commit to doing any more than what I can do in the meantime. So that's where it's at right now. But I will try and give you updates as much as I can um, in the meantime. So remember, keep your frequency up, be grateful, and stand in your truth of what you are in the divine template of creation, prime creation. That is the most powerful, the most powerful. And our Father and our Mother, universe, metaverse, infiniverse, Isa, that is what we are. Thanks, everyone, and talk soon.